block is missing.
Oh, it's right next to it.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Stand by. Technical difficulties here. Block of wood to put my computer up on here. All right. Whoa. I thought I shrunk. I know people shrink when they get older, but I look bad. All right, it's 8:03. It's Thursday, July 13th, 2023. Welcome to the Anyone Can Farm Experience live chat. I'm Mark, your host, coming to you from Baker's Green Acres in Marion, Michigan. All right, so normally we set Thursdays aside to do interviews. And I got some really good input from people on Tribe Day about the interviews. People like them. So I don't remember who it was that said it to me. It was like a woman. I know that. So I narrowed it down to 50% of the population. But I don't remember who exactly. I'm kind of tired right now. I've been in the sun all day. You ever be in the sun a real lot and then you get sunburned and then you feel cold? I feel cold right now and hungry and tired. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, anyway, this is my whining for the day. The title of this is the Rough Cut Revolution. And that's kind of an impromptu conversation that we're going to have tonight because we don't have anybody to interview. And it's not like there's nobody out there that we can interview. It's just that we've been real busy lately. And Jill especially was very busy today reconciling everything from Tribe Day. It's a big job. Especially with the cafe and, silent auction. I saw some of that paperwork. There was a lot there. And so tonight's show, I want to talk about the rough cut revolution because I did a lot of yakking today with Aaron Esch of barngeek.com, and we had a real fun conversation, real interesting, and I wanted to pass some of it on while it was fresh in my mind. But the show tonight is going to be brought to you by, it's going to be sponsored by the Anyone Can Farm Homestead Hog Harvest. And I want to let you guys know that is coming up. It's going to be November, right? This year, we plan on doing a hog harvest class and a charcuterie class. And these fill up really quick. So if you'd like to partake of those, I would get busy, get your deposit in, because once it's full, it's full. Quite possibly, we will have a couple cabins to stay in. So that will be really neat. Today, we made plans yesterday we made plans for today, and it was Aaron and his boy Zeke, and then Parker and my kids. Some of them, let's see, Joe, Jim, and Frank were willing to come and help continue the build, and Covey, our intern, Covington, and got down there to work about 11 o'clock. Stood in the driveway from 10 to about 11:15 and just did some plotting. And the conversation was really interesting. And I thought I would let you in on this just because you're all members of the tribe. And the tribe's getting really big right now. It's like 11,300 people when I last looked at it. That's a lot of people to be able to talk to. It really is. And show things to. And there's a lot of good interaction both ways. So that's the Anyone Can Farm Tribe on Facebook. I know a lot of people aren't on Facebook, but that's where it started. That's where it's going to stay. Okay, Stan Smith is with us. in Catachrome, and Jay-Z is with us. Welcome. You know, Jay-Z, you were here this weekend, and I don't think I really got a chance to talk to you very much. You know, it's always like that when we get a big crowd, you know. So we made these plans to get together and work on the build today, the cabin. Now, for those of you that don't know, because we have this tribe, and there are a lot of people that I could call on in the tribe if I want to do something. Case in point, we were doing something here. I don't remember what it was exactly. Justin's here quite a bit, at least twice a year. And I'm running around trying to get things nailed down. It was some sort of event that we were doing. And all of a sudden, one of my kids comes to me and says, the milk machine's not working. I go up and take a quick look at it. It's got an electrical problem. I beelined it down into the butcher shop, and I said, Justin, can you go get this straightened up? He's an electrician. Vip, he went up there and straightened it out, and it's still working to this day, right? So that's kind of how the tribe is. There's a lot of expertise in the tribe, and we are working together, actively working together. So probably about a month ago, or maybe even a little further than that, we're planning for Tribe Day. I'm over there. I'm mowing the lawn, getting things ready to go. And I started thinking about the people in the tribe. And specifically, I was thinking about Aaron. And when I thought about Aaron is the Barn Geek, barngeek.com. I highly recommend you go over there and look at all the designs that this guy has put together for sheds, barns, and other nifty things. And when I think about Aaron, I wound up thinking about Parker, because Parker is a sawyer. He's got a really nice Wood-Mizer sawmill, and this is no rinky-dink deal. This is a very expensive unit, and he can saw some lumber really well. He does a really good job. There's none of this wavy stuff. It's all like better than what you would see at any lumber yard, much better. Plus, he loads it, stickers it, and all that stuff. So anything that he doesn't like, he pitches. So we always get some really nice wood from him. So I'm thinking about these two guys, and talked to Aaron about something. And I said, you know what, we really need to do a build of some sort of cabin. And he says, yeah, that's a good idea. I said, well, why don't I talk to Parker about it? And so I talked to them both. They both volunteered to come here. Of course, Jill's cooking dinner, so that's why they come. And we say, hey, let's do this project. Aaron, you provide the design. Parker, you provide the wood. He'll cut the kit out, right? The kit. So Aaron makes these really nifty designs, and he also makes a list of materials, what's called a cut list. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work to do that, because there's so many different pieces of a cabin. You get the walls, the floor, the purlins. There's all these cool names if you're doing post and beam. I can't remember them now, but and so everybody thought it was a good idea. And when we backed up from it and thought about it, it was like, well, Aaron has a lot of people that watch his YouTube channels. He does building techniques, right? So he's got a lot of people that watch him. Well, we have a lot of people in the tribe that are prospective homesteaders, right? So wouldn't it be nice to mix his people with our people? If you're learning how to build barns, maybe you are a homesteader and you would benefit from more homesteading information. Maybe not. Maybe if you're a homesteader, you might be saying, well, I need to build a barn because I need a XYZ. I need a butcher shop. I need a guest cabin. I need you name it. The sky's the limit. So we did that. That's what we talked about in the driveway this morning. We talked about what's called cross-pollination. Turn his people on to us and our people on to him. And hopefully everybody finds something that they need, or some people will find something that they need. Really beneficial, really beneficial. And you would think that would be done in business, in the regular worldly business that we see. If you go to, some store, or if you watch TV and you see programming and you see like a commercial for, say, I don't even know what's on TV anymore. I haven't seen it in so long. And maybe that's why I'm able to shake it off of me, is because I haven't been programmed. But you would think that they would be working more together, but they're not. They're all kind of individuals. They all kind of stay apart. Like the people who make macaroni don't really work with the people that make the cheese, or the people that make the spaghetti sauce. They're kind of off on their own. Maybe they're centrally held. I don't really know about that, but what we're finding within the tribe is, if you have an opportunity or a problem, or you need advice, or you need problems, solving a problem, the tribe is becoming a very good place to go and just blurt it out. Hey, I need this. I went on yesterday, because you guys know I'm building out a milking parlor, and I'm trying to build it consistent with the build of the barn that is currently on our farm. And I put it out there on the tribe. Hey, I'm looking for somebody that's got antique cow milking stanchions. I'm interested in getting some, in buying some. And I had 2 or 3 people that responded. And one of them is my neighbor to the south. I mean, he's a 2-minute ride, down the road. And I couldn't get over there today because we finished up late, and I'm doing this now. And as soon as this is over, I am having something to eat and going to bed. But there's a lot of power in this tribe, a lot of power. And let me explain the power that came out of this. This is just one operation, the cabin operation. And it was me and my wife, Aaron, and his son, and I think his wife is involved in it too, Maggie, and Parker and Lauren Holmes from Homestead Provision were involved in it. And we got together, collaborated, and said, hey, let's build this cabin. We can put it in the campground. It will pay for itself in no time flat, because it's already rented out for next year, Tribe Day. Someone has already spoken for it. And this fall, charcuterie, it's rented for the charcuterie class. It's rented out already, right? And we haven't even said what we're going to even rent it for yet. We haven't put a tag on it yet. But that's part of the story here. That's kind of fun. It really gets kind of interesting. So we came together. These 3 entities came together, and in a very short period of time, because everybody was doing their thing, and this is my thing here, we have this really nice structure that's over on the campground. It doesn't have the roof on it yet, but it's got 3 walls on it, and it's ready for windows. And it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's like 12 by 16, and it's got a really nice, good sized loft. I'm really impressed with it. So Aaron came up with a really nice design, right? He came up with a fairly accurate cut list. At least it appears to be accurate now. I mean, when we're done, if there's a bunch of extra stuff laying there, then maybe we'll, but I don't know. It appears to be accurate to me. And then we had Parker that came in that had the logs, sawed the wood, and he even delivered here. He's got a big truck, so he brought it all here. Me, if I had forks on my tractor, we could have unloaded it really quick, but I don't. So we wound up unloading a lot of it by hand. And I think this credit is due certain places. I think that in this case, I'm the one that's thinking about the campground and the operation that's coming up, the Tribe Day. And so I believe that it was my vision. And then I took a step, called a guy, called another guy, asked my wife, hey, will you feed these guys? Yeah, we'll feed them. Okay. We come together, and before anything was done, we had a plan. Oh, there was another aspect to this, and it's my son, Joe. He was over there, and he filmed it. So we got a third thing out of this. We're going to have a lot of content on how to build barns and all of Aaron's stuff, because we're cross-pollinating, that will be on Tribe Plus. So here's yet another reason to spend the 14 cents a day to be on Tribe Plus. If you don't know how to get on Tribe Plus, Jill will put it in the show notes, I'm sure. You just go to theanyonecanfarmexperience.com and look for Tribe Plus, and then click on that. Costs you $50 a year. It's like 14 cents a day. You know, it's cheap. And there's a ton of material there. You're doing two things. When you pay for that, you're giving yourself a lead on everybody else, because you're getting a package of information that we're only putting stuff there that we feel is beneficial to our tribe, right? As a tribe, some of us older ones are responsible for the younger ones. If they turn out to be dopey, it reflects on us. We want people to be effective in the homesteading world. We don't want them to fail. We want you to do well, because if you do well, we all do well. We're like a chain. And so we're giving all the links of the chain the best information that we have. You're getting the best we have. And, this is our first time through this too, right? So please join the tribe. And the other thing you're doing is you're supporting this. You're keeping it going. In order to put all that information that's there, we had to go out on a limb to get that there, right? Nobody is being compensated. Well, Joe is, but it's coming out of the farm account to pay him to be able to do that. Because we feel if we had, 1,000 people that were in the Tribe Plus, then we can finance stuff. And this is really important. I think that people get the idea that, oh, well, it's all about money. All you care about is money. And no one's actually said that. I don't think anybody gets that idea, with me anyway, because obviously money is a tool. It'd be like saying, oh, yeah, with you, everything's about hammers and nails. No, I like hammers and nails, and I need hammers and nails, but it's not everything. That's not everything to me. That'd be like saying, oh, everything is dirt and microbes to you. No, not everything, but they are important. So I am not in love with money. As a matter of fact, Aaron and I were having a conversation today. When you get money, when you let's say you earn, you put on a class and you earn some money. If you get $1,000, there was a time when I'd put it in the bank and I'd be like, yeah, I got $1,000 in the bank. Woohoo! Right? That's a lot of money. In my economy, that's a lot of money. But now I don't feel that way. I feel like, oh, if I have money, I'm going to invest that money into something that's going to make me more money. So I can invest more money into something that will make me more money. Right? So it's sort of like delayed gratification, but most of the things that I buy with money, I don't get a serious jolt out of it. I bought some steel for the building the other day. It cost me $2,000, but it was just sitting, I had saved it. But now it's invested in steel, and now we have a building. And oh, by the way, that building, in the meantime, I'm going to keep my hay in there. And that hay is very valuable to me because the hay is what I feed to the cows. The cows give me the milk I sell, and I get money. And probably the money that I used to buy that steel I got from the cows. So it's like it keeps circulating, and all the while things get better here. Things do get better. We have things this year that we did not have last year for Tribe Day. We had a good sized building pavilion. Now the walls aren't on, and the front and back are not on it, but it's a pavilion and you can get under it. We had the cafe. We did not have the cafe last year. That was a huge undertaking, and we drew from people that are in the tribe, expertise of people that could make that happen. And it certainly wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was Tatum that got it done. Mostly Tatum. I mean, she definitely enlisted help, and people were very willing to help, but she headed the whole thing up. At least that's what I'm being told. But that's the power of the tribe. That's the power. There was something that came up today. Whenever you, do what we did today, there's always that thought in your mind that somebody ain't going to like it, even though it's on my property, right? I'm building a cabin, a rough cut cabin. There's this thought like somebody's not going to like that. Somebody won't like it. Some parasite is going to be like, he's got more than I do. That's not fair. And they'll go complain to somebody about it, and then, you think like, am I going to get somebody come and complain, right? Because I'm building my farm. Oh yeah, that's so terrible to build your farm. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Or should I just be sitting around waiting for a check to come from some government agency, right? So a lot of our conversation was about things like that, but Aaron brought up the term, the rough cut revolution, right? So he's obviously in a different business than I am in. I am in farming or homesteading, more specifically homesteading, but I guess you could say farming. I don't run a concentrated animal feeding operation by any means. I'm a very diversified farm. I milk 5 cows. I raise probably 100 pigs a year, probably about, 2,000 chickens a year. We got about 100 laying chickens. We get some mushrooms. We do a lot of cropping. We do butchering. We do hay cutting. So we're busy all the time. And also we have the education wing. We're working on that. And more, it's kind of evening up. It used to be like education was way down here, but like we're doing more of it now. And it's not because I want to do more of it. It's because there are more people that want the education. And luckily, we're in a position where we can do it. Luckily. I mean, if you'd have asked me, well, can you teach people how to do farming stuff 20 years ago? Like this year is 19 years that we've been here. I would have said, not me. I'm new. There's way more that I don't know than I do know. And there's still way more than I don't know than I do know. But I do know a lot now because I've been in it for almost 20 years. Actually, over 20 years, because our last farm, that counts, even though I was still active duty back then. But the power of the tribe, of being able to come together like that, and now we have a building over there that pretty soon is going to start to pull its own weight. And it's a thing of beauty. It really is. So what's happened since then? We haven't even gotten it finished, and I've got it rented out twice. And I've had several people say, I want to know more about that. Give me Parker's phone number. Give me Aaron's phone number. I've had several people say that. And then these guys were here today and they're like, hey, this is good. We're gonna get something out of this. This is gonna really work out good. So I wouldn't have that rough cut lumber over there if it weren't for Parker. I wouldn't have the design of that building if it weren't for Aaron. Right? And both of them made it available before we even had the money to pay him. Now, we did Tribe Day this weekend, and we're expecting, I saw the profit and loss at my desk. Actually, it's the kitchen table. And it was right before I came on the show. So I have to look at it and study it and figure out, okay, did we make money or did we lose money? You know, I think we probably made money, although I wasn't in the cafe the whole time. But I am really hoping that we made enough money that we can cover that building, the doors and the roof and all that stuff I still got to get. I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's just a gut feeling. I didn't even pick the paper up because I'd have to sit and study it. And I was afraid that if I saw, whoa, you're short $200, then my attitude would not be good on this show. Although it's not always about your profit and loss statement. It isn't. How do you measure Tribe Day? What's the unit of measure of Tribe Day? Is there a unit of measure that anybody can think of? If we made dollars, would it make it a better? Yeah, it would make it better. Yeah, it would. If we lost money, would it detract? Well, yeah, it kind of would, because then it's like we lost money on it. That's not a good thing. It's a good learning experience, but the unit of measure, the measurement of success for Tribe Day isn't like, oh man, we made $2,000. That's really not it. That's really not it. If we had lost, I'd keep it to myself, but I would still say, oh, it was a great Tribe Day, because it really was. And it never really started out to be a money-making deal. That was not the initial Amy Stumpo statement. She is a big fan of children's church camps, and she said, well, it's too bad we couldn't do something like that here, because the church camps, there's a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of, let's go out and play dodgeball. We got nothing better to do. Let's play dodgeball. And so we kind of put together this plan that people could learn things, homestead things, useful things. We need to train our children up the way they should go. We need to be doing that. And so can we do that individually? Yeah, we can. We're going to get a better project if we spread that out amongst other adults. It takes a village. It takes a village. There's some there is some truth to that. The fact that it came out of that sack of potatoes, it's just kind of, it's like it's like Farrah Fawcett having a really deep, gravelly voice. It just wouldn't go. And I wonder if you guys know who Farrah Fawcett is. Even she was I idolized. I didn't idolize her. She was just good to look at, I guess, when I was a kid. Okay. So I wonder if I'm making my point with the tribe here. We believe that the rough cut revolution that's Aaron's career field. That's what he does. Now I'm dabbling in it a little bit, but this is what it comes down to. Aaron makes plans on building post and beam structures. A post and beam structure like this, if you put it in front of a structural engineer, you'd be like, I wasn't trained on that. I don't know nothing about that. So he may say, that's not going to work for me. I don't know. I don't know. So like the building department, are those structural engineers? I don't know. I don't know who they are. Right. But one of the things that they do look at is lumber that comes from massive mills that you would buy at the lumber yard has a stamp on it. And it's a stamp of approval from who? So the wood is certified, even though 2x4s aren't even they're not even 2x4 anymore, right? They're like 1.5 by 3 and by 3.5. That's a 2x4. Where the stuff that we were using today that Parker made, the 2x4s were actually 2 inches by 4 inches, 8-foot lengths. And when we were finished up today, we had a very solid structure, post and beam structure. Really nice. You guys are going to be so impressed when you see this. Maybe I'll get over there and make a video tomorrow. Maybe. I got chickens to process tomorrow. That's why I got to get in bed. So how does the rough cut revolution, how does that correlate with tribal mentality or homesteading mentality? Okay, how does that correlate? All right. So if we wanted to, and we said, okay, we're going to use this as a rental cabin, and we called and said, hey, we want a permit to build, they would say, rough cut lumber, huh? Well, I'll have to check with, the next county over, but I don't know because that lumber isn't stamped. It's not certified, right? It's not certified. But let's say the guy's like, well, it's going to be all right. We can get an engineer out here and he can certify it. So they go through and they stamp all the wood or something like that. Then he's going to say, well, if you're going to put any electrical in here, you got to get another permit. And the electric guy is going to be out and saying, oh, yeah, before you close up those walls, I want to look at everything. And if you want to put a well point down, a sand point down, then you got to have them out to make sure it's not near anything that's going to contaminate it. And those engineers, they know. And on it goes. And so you're entering into contracts they are government agencies. Even the county is government. And you're contacting them because you're wanting to give them the final say on the process of building something that you're going to utilize. And it doesn't matter what you're going to utilize it for. It's your business. You can do on private property as you wish, so long as it's legal. You can't break the law on private property. But more and more we've seen townships and counties create rules, right? And who do the rules benefit? You guessed it, them. The rough cut revolution circumvents that. I mean, it totally circumvents that. It's sort of like what we're doing. Tribe Day comes, and we're going to be doing a lot of things here on the property. A lot of people here. A lot of dollars changing hands. People are going to be buying food, selling equipment, things like this. Did I call a government agency to say, what do I need to do so you will like it? Oh, they would say, oh, well, you need a license from us. And by the way, we'll be out on the day of just to inspect, just to intimidate, actually. So we didn't do that. We didn't do that because we don't have to. It's private property, and I don't require their oversight. I don't want it. I don't think they're qualified to do it. Most of them are losers, and that's why, well, I shouldn't say that because a friend of mine's mom works there. But I'm able to provide my own oversight on the food operation here. We're smart enough to do that. We don't need a degree in I don't know, animal husbandry or anything else. And that's what these guys, they have these degrees, and so supposedly after a 4-year binge, they're better at determining, if stuff is done right than just us peasants, right? The people that actually do it for a living. I don't believe that. Like the building inspector, he's been working there for 30 years. Oh, then he hasn't been building. Oh no, he's never built anything. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Do you have any idea how much money they take in building permits and electrical permits and all kinds of permits? Because people are dumb and they go up and they ask permission. But in some cases, you can't not do that. If you're borrowing money from a bank and you say, yeah, and by the way, a buddy of mine's going to build it and we're going to build it out of rough cut. They're going to say, oh no. We're giving you the money to build it. We want it built to code. Is that the law? No, but if you want the money, that's how you're going to have to build it. Oh. Well, then what if I don't want to borrow that kind of money? Well, then save the money. I like the sound of that. Are you willing to live in a smaller house that you can build a structure like this for under $5,000? I am. And we can, even if you're working in a factory job, you can save a little bit, keep saving consistently until you have money saved up. You can buy a couple acres of land. You could buy 10 at like maybe $3,500 an acre. It's around here. So that'd be what, $35,000? I mean, maybe you'd have to get a loan on the land, but then a $5,000 structure on it. It's not like a giveaway, but it is attainable, of course. And then if you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into that, and in 5 years' time, you say, you know what, I'm going to sell this because I want, a little more acreage and a little bit bigger house. I want to build me another house. Then you sell it, make a good profit, and then you can move up. But people have this idea that they must move within the machine. So you go to a bank and say, I want to build a house. And they'll say, oh, yes. How many thousands of square feet would you like? Oh, I want a big house because it's going to be my dream house. It's going to be your dream ball and chain is what it's going to be. It's just for a place to rack out. You have seen where people sleep on ships or American GIs sleep in tents. You don't need that much because you're unconscious. But if you partake of the machine, and you know what I'm talking about, the banking industry, the insurance industry, I mean, they all control their customers. And I guess it's fair, like I butcher chickens here and I want people to park a certain way when they come here. So I set up control methods, control measures. And what do I actually do? I put those spike strips in the driveway if they try to back up, poof, get their tires. No, I just put up signs. And then we built a road so people can drive all the way around. They don't have to back up. Anytime people are backing up, things get run over. Cars get hit. People back trailers into trucks. People back trailers into their own taillights. We had a dog got run over in the driveway. Actually, 2 of them got run over in the driveway because people have to back up. We got a nice horseshoe that goes around. Just keep driving straight. So those are the measures that I put in. What? To control things, right? Because people come here, they've never been here. We have to keep it a little under control, or they'll just be driving on the lawn. People do that too. They drive on the lawn. They park on the lawn. We don't have lawn at our house. I mean, you don't park on the driveway. You don't park on the grass. So, we have this organization now, and I think people need to wrap their head around the fact that there are many resources within the tribe. of the 11,300 people that are there, I would reckon if you put it out there that, how do you do this? I don't know how to do this. Someone will answer. That is a very powerful mechanism, right? Or I'm having a problem with this agency. How do you deal with these people, right? It's very effective. We've had a lot of efficacy coming out of the tribe on things like that because people are getting trained. How do you deal with these weenies? You know, you're doing something, you're getting ahead, and some weenie wants a cut of your action. Somebody from the township or the county, they want to cut in on what you're doing and saying, you got to get permission from us. You know, you need a permit from us. I will say this about that. When you're doing something, you could make a phone call up there and say, hey, what do I need to do to do this? Oh, you got to have the health department come out and check your restrooms. You got to have a HACCP plan in place. You got to have fire extinguishers in every building. You got to have wheel ramps so handicapped people can get up into the building. You know, on and on it goes. Oh, how many people are you planning on having? Oh, about 100. Oh, you'll need about 6 porta potties there, and we'll have to come out and check them. You know, on and on it goes. They have all their ideas. Oh, and then we'll need a policeman out there to park the cars, you know, because there'll be a traffic hazard, right? And then, you know, it goes on and on. And of course, maybe with COVID, they'd say everybody needs to social distance and wear your face masks, you know. So the fix on that is you just don't involve them and you just have your private event on your private property and you're building something like a cabin. That's your business, what you're going to do with it. And I will just say this, you know, if you are doing something and you think that somebody might come and say, hey, what are you doing? You never answer anybody's questions like that. You tell them you can put your question in an email form and send it to me. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But my hands are full right now. I'm not going to talk to you because they're going to they want decisive action right now. We want you to cease and desist right now. No, get off my property. Go to hell. So I don't advocate being kind with these parasitic types. Not at all. They're never kind to the citizenry, and you know it's sort of like they like to say, well, I'm just doing my job. You know, it's part of my job. I got to do it. Okay, well, you know, you could say the same thing to somebody that's loading prisoners onto train cars to be exterminated. I'm just doing my job. I mean, if I don't do this, I'm going to get a poor performance report. Oh, okay. Well, you know, I'm just doing my job too. You know, I'm protecting my assets here. And by talking with you, I jeopardize a lot because whenever a confrontation like that happens, you're actually beginning. That's the beginning of a lawsuit, and typically it's them that pull you into court. But there's for that individual that comes on and makes an inquiry, you've got to be looking at them like the sacrificial lamb. You're going to get them, right? And there's to do that, and we at some point we're going to talk about that on Zoom calls and stuff, but I don't want to talk about it here because you never tip your hand to your enemy, and there is an enemy out there. There are those who take an oath to the U.S. Constitution to protect your life, liberty, and property and your process that's protected under due process of law. But they say, yeah, but that's an enemy of the Constitution right there, because the supreme law of the land, you do not add or take anything away. That is subversion, is what that is. And so these people become my enemy, right, when they pick their heads up. If they mind their business and they behave, we leave them alone. You know, we don't go looking for them. We don't go hunting them. We don't. We could, but I think it's enough for the bureaucrat class to know they're looking for you. They're looking for you. And they have a better mechanism to get at you than you do to get at them. You have your rules and regulations. They have the U.S. Constitution that you swore an oath to uphold. And you've failed to do that by your actions. So, I mean, this is a long time coming, but I've told many of you the story before, but I was at a briefing and there was a gentleman by the name of Jerry Boykin that was there. He's a general officer, Army. He's actually the originator of Delta Force. And there was a question from behind me about solutions to the problems we face as society. And he thought I said it, I think. He's an older guy. And he pointed his finger at me and he said, oath of office, like this, like he's pointing a Swedish K at me. And I didn't know what he was mean. I didn't know what he meant at first, but general officers are like that. They're not going to explain stuff to you. You really need to understand. And that means it takes a lot of thought and it has to become part of your approach to problems. And I think I finally understand it. The oath of office is a contract. It's a verbal contract with the employer. So any of these weenies in government have to take an oath of their appropriate with their office that they're going to hold. And that is that they will uphold and support the U.S. Constitution. And if they don't do that, they're violating their term of employment. They're actually in contempt of their oath of office, which puts them in a very precarious situation because then they're on their own. They are on their freaking own. And so that's a bad place to be, but that's where we are all the time when we get a letter in the mail from some slick attorney that works for the county or whatever. We're on our own. I mean, you might show it to your neighbor and he's like, ooh, too bad for you. Sucks to be you. And then what do? Oh, I guess I better go hire a lawyer so they can decipher this. And it's only $2,500 to retain them. So when you switch that around and you put that on the shoulders of the township or county employee, they believe they have immunity, but they don't. They don't if you sue them as John Q. Citizen, right? So it's a very powerful tool. And most of the time, what we're finding is when they know they're being hunted or they know there's a mechanism to get at them, they don't want it. And so they're not really dedicated to their jobs. Where we as farmers, this is everything. We invest every penny we have in what we have on our homesteads. Yeah, we're dedicated to it. I mean, I showed my dedication years ago to this way of life that I'm living. Years and years and years ago. This isn't something that's, haphazard, where some employee of some county or township, I worked there for a year. Maybe I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go work for the post office, or I think I'm going to take a vacation. I'll just sit home and collect COVID-19 checks. They're not real dedicated people, and they're not leaning forward. They don't really keep up on very much because they don't need to, right? So they're not really that hard to go up against. That's what we found. So you're part of this tribe, and there's a lot of resources here. And every time I see something accomplished like this, and it's tribe members that I said, hey, you wanna? Hey, you wanna? And we come together. We made a good thing happen. And I am going to encourage you guys to do the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Hey, the machine says that, well, when you're traveling, you got to stay at this hotel. Which one? The Holiday Inn. Oh, I don't like there. Well, how about the Hampton Inn? Oh, I don't like that. How about Motel 6? That's okay. On and on it goes, but there's only about 5 of them. And they're all kind of the same. And now anymore, they usually have I don't know, looks like 7-Eleven employees working at the counter. It's not like a classy operation anymore. And, it's always, they're not really well taken care of. You never see a whole bunch of people in the parking lot. It's always kind of, I don't know, low quality. When I was a kid and we stayed at hotels, they were big rooms and they had nice stuff and all that. Now it's sort of, I don't know, third worldy kind of, it seems like. And, I just don't feel special when I'm going in them. They used to have a nice pool and jacuzzis and all that stuff. Now, it's not like that. Every time we travel, we don't, the pool's broken, pool's closed, bed and breakfast. No, we don't have that no more. It's not as good. So, something like this on your farm, like a little cabin like this, a guest cabin. Now we have these really cool platforms like Uber, right? So we have HipCamp is kind of the Uber of the camping world. You can go on these apps and you can find a private residence near where you're going that somebody's renting out that you can stay in. You never have to meet with the people. You just show up, go in, crash out, have coffee in the morning, and split. And you pay it all online. It's pretty cool. And this is how we're running our campground and how we're going to run our cabin. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. And now that all you members of the tribe know somebody that's doing it, I can consult with you. I can tell you what I did. I can tell you how it's working. I can tell you, do this, do this, do this. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, And that's a good thing to know people who have walked this road and you're able to consult with them. So that's really all I had to say tonight. The Rough Cut Revolution, it's sort of a mindset, I think. Instead of buying lumber out of a mill in Washington State that comes here through Canada and, down to Alabama and then up here, that if the transportation doesn't work, we're kind of screwed. The wood that we built that out was cut 10 miles from here, no more than 10 miles from here. So it's more direct. And like at the lumberyard during 2021, the prices of lumber were so insane that people just quit building. And then they came down because they couldn't sell the materials anymore. Whoever jacked them up thought, yeah, COVID, we'll put the screws to these people. Well, I want a new summer home. You, all the board of directors here, you want a new summer home? Yeah, okay. We're going to jack the prices up. We're going to really gouge these people. Didn't work. They had to bring the prices back down. A lot of people lost a lot of money because that lumber sat there, and what happened to it? It sprang. It went every which way. It wound up being junk. So it didn't work. Who wound up paying? I don't know. I bet you the insurance companies wound up paying, right? So who knows? But it'd be much better, and it's a much cleaner operation if you have a guy that lives near you that cuts lumber. Okay, what do we got here? Catachrome, Stan Smith, Inga Brummins. Inga actually inquired about a cabin last night. Okay. Justin Z. I think a Arcs and Sparks electrical demonstration next Tribe Day could be a lifesaver for those who don't know the dangers of electricity. Yeah, you're just the man to do it. Submit your request for denial. Abundant Living says that's exactly what Skillshare Day is for, Justin. Dave did a great first aid one. You should do it. Yep. Well, you just got the seal of approval from the certifying agency at Baker's Green Acres. Jay-Z is saying, I can't wait to buy cabin plans from Aaron. I was amazed to find out there are only $20 for cabin plans. Is that all? Wow. I thought they were more than that. But you must know. Justin wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. I thought they were more than that, but who knows? And then you can come and look at the one that we're doing. I'm going to go down there tomorrow and I'll make a video so you can kind of see it, what we got so far. Inga says, where did you find Aaron's little building plans? I looked on a website, but there was no tiny house plans. Well, Inga, I think you have to be able to visualize the, it's sort of like if you look at a car, like let's see, what do I want to say? I know what I'm thinking, but I know cars. But let's say you look at a Crown Victoria, let's say, and it's the basic frame and engine package. But if you want it for a police car, then it's going to have a little interceptor tag, and they're going to put, other things on it. So you look at the shed builds, and you say, well, I want that basic build, but I want to live in that. So you're going to be adding things on like windows and a personnel door that you wouldn't have on a shed. So you have to view those things and say, yeah, I'm going to make some change. And then you get with your builder and say, I want the door here. I want the windows here. I want it to be 36 by 36, and I want 5 of them. Jay-Z says, I spoke to him. I believe he is going to list them on the website in the future. If you would like them now, I think you can contact him. All right. I will say the cafe. Okay, here comes Jay-Z with some good stuff. I will say the cafe was phenomenal. I worked in a restaurant for 5 years and was highly impressed. That's nice. That's good coming from you, lad. I was impressed with the cafe too. I mean, I envisioned it, and then I communicated it to Tatum, and she made it happen. She made it happen. It was a really nice setup. Oh, okay. Abundant Living is saying it's listed on the Tribe Day page. Tribe Day page. Okay. Brian Jacobs here. And then Angus says, thank you, Jill. I get that, Mark, but I was looking specifically for his tiny house build he did on your farm, since I'm looking to add only 4 times 8 more square feet. Oh, okay. All right. You probably ought to talk to Aaron then. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's real easy to talk to. We had a long conversation about pulling out of the machine, like it seems like if you interact with one entity, it seems like they'll send you to another entity and another and another. And before you know it, you like, let's say you wanted to do a build like this, and your first stop is, well, I better borrow the money from the bank. Well, then the bank giving you the money says, oh no, you can't build it yourself. We want a licensed builder to build it. Oh, I can't build it myself? Oh, no. You're not licensed. We want a licensed builder. We want to protect the money that we're loaning to you. And if we leave it in your incompetent hands, you'll leave it out in the rain. A licensed builder will not leave it out in the rain. So you get a licensed builder, and what's the first thing the licensed builder says? Well, I'm licensed. I got to pull a permit for this. Oh, what kind of permit? Oh, let's see. I got to get a building permit. I'm going to have to get an occupancy permit. I'm going to have to get electrical permit. I'm going to have to get a well permit. I'm going to have to get a septic system permit. That's only 5 of them at about $1,000 a piece. No big deal, right? Oh, yeah, but when you get the permit, they say, well, when are you going to have this done? Oh, I don't know. I should have it done by. Well, what if he doesn't? And they cancel the permit. I'm working with a guy that happened to. They canceled the permit. Now you got to get another one. You know, and then you get all your electrical in. Oh, we got to come look at that, but we can't be out there until a month from this Sunday. Why? Well, I'm going fishing up in the UP. Why else? I can't come. Don't you have anybody else that works there? Nope. Oh, I guess we'll have to wait. But that pushes all my other inspections back. Yeah, what can I do? Tell the bank to, so you're not really in charge. You're just kind of letting all these other people be in charge. And then the price of your build is way up because of all of this, where you could say, no, I'm going to build a small structure. I'm going to put a car battery in it. I'm going to get 2 solar cells so I can charge my phone and my laptop, and I'll have several lights. Oh, how are you going to cook? Propane. How are you going to heat? Wood. Where are you going to get the wood? The woods. So, well, that's not going to work. You're going to be living way too cheaply. We won't have control of you. What are you going to insure it? Well, the insurance company won't do it because it isn't built to code, because the wood doesn't have stamps on it. Also, I can't insure it? Nope. Well, the bank won't go if you can't get insurance. See? Well, you want to hook it up to the electrical grid. We're going to have to review your permits. So on and on it goes, where if you just say, you know what, I'm going to live in a rough cut building that I build myself. No electricity. I don't need it. I'll have a propane stove to cook a little on. This is sort of like what my son Joe is doing, living in a yurt. They have none of those things. And he finds that, wow, life is good. I'm able to save money and repair things and all that because he doesn't have a massive mortgage. He doesn't have to pay back a huge loan. Doesn't have insurance payments on anything except maybe his car. Because around here, if you don't have insurance on your car, you get a ticket. I think. I don't know. They always ask you for it, but I've never not produced it. But I was telling Aaron today, I think when I get older and I have less, I give a damn less as I'm much older. I'm not going to get a driver's license or anything. I'm not going to get any of that stuff. And if I get pulled over, I'll just say, I don't have one. Do what you got to do. And maybe, like, to get a license now, I think it's pretty expensive. So I don't know. Okay, Barn Geek's listening to us. We will be adding the plans for the cabin we built on Tribe Day to the website shortly. Stay tuned. Standing by. Yeah, and you'll have nice pictures. Oh, we did talk today, you guys, about the next one that we build because I'm in favor of building another one right away. That's what I've told these guys. But I have to see the profit loss sheets from our lives lately and see if we have the money to do it. But when we do it, whether it's this year or next year, it is going to happen. I would like to have a class, a 2-day class, and Aaron thought it was a good idea. And we will charge for the class, and we'll make it so that people can stay at the campground. So we'd like to do it while the weather's nice. So that's our request. We'll have to see what happens. But then we make a class out of it so people can actually participate in the build. So if you were going to do this, if you were just about ready to pull the trigger on a set of plans and getting a cut list put together, maybe you'd want to take the class and learn some of the principles of it and see it done in front of you. It's a lot like butchering pigs. It really helps. I mean, you can watch YouTube videos and you can read books, but if you get to do it, it really helps because then you get an idea of how quickly things can move and what's critical, what's not critical. You hear all the chatter that's going on and you get a real good feel for it. So if there are people here that are interested in a class like that, I need you to sing out on here. So I know that, we might want to do that. Well, Barn Geek, would you be open to revising it to a 12 by 20 or 12 by 24 feet? He can do anything. But Inga, I tell you what, if you look at the one we just built, 12 by 16, it's big. It really is big. And the second floor on it, I mean, the loft, there's a lot of space in that cabin, especially for just you. Barn Geek says, yes, we do customized plans. All right. All right. Hey, I'm going to get going. I'm tired and I need something to eat. I got so chilled, so heated up today. Aaron got a sunburn too, and Zeke. It actually makes me cold. I'm actually cold. I'm just hungry and tired and cold, and nobody cares. All right. It's a good week. We've got chickens to process tomorrow. I have some people coming to visit this weekend. We have a lot of work to do this weekend. I hope that people are looking at the state of affairs and saying, now is the time to get busy. Evil is weak. Continue to build. Now is the time. Continue to build. All right. I'm going to get going, you guys. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a thumbs up. And we will be seeing you next Tuesday. Yep. All right.